Hi. Today's my birthday. I'm 69 years old, which means I was born in 1952. And this just happens to be number 52 in my grammar videos. So I thought I'd do something different today. Grammar's not just about rules and regulations, it's also about, well, it's mainly about putting words together in sentences and paragraphs and making stories or whatever. So I'm going to read the first chapter in the first book of my Eastern Kentucky Girl series. This book is called The Soup Bean War, and it takes place in 1960 on Mare Creek in Floyd County, Kentucky. All these books take place in Floyd County, mainly around Betsy Lane, Mare Creek. This is my family, except for my dad. That's my mom. She's 40 years old there, I think. That's my baby sister. That's my older sister. My next older sister and my oldest sister, besides my sister who died when she was 4 days old that none of us ever got to know. And this is me. So I'm going to read the first chapter called The Letters. Run, Em, run! Laura screamed as she and her little sister hurried barefoot down the dirt driveway. I'm running as fast as I can, Emily huffed and puffed as she struggled to keep up with Laura. We gotta make it to the school. We gotta get out of their way, Laura yelled. They'll kill us if they catch us. Laura's long, thick blonde hair flew behind her in the muggy evening air. Emily's thin, baby-fine hair clung to her sweaty little head. The girls made a sharp contrast to the stillness of the valley and the majestic Appalachian Mountains, covered in pines, oaks, cedars, and silver maples. The mountains surrounded and protected the girls as their girlish squeals broke the silence of the valley. Chasing the little girls were their older sisters, Mary and Martha. You get back here with that, Martha screamed. I'll kill you when I catch you, Laura Con. Get under the floor, Laura commanded Emily. They both ducked and scooted under the floor of the old school building. The white one-room building was set on blocks, just low enough that the girls could find a safe haven. It's dirty under here, Emily complained. She wiped dirt and tiny gravels from her knees, then looked around. And dark. We're safe, Laura said as she settled herself on the cool ground. Mary and Martha can't get under here. They're too big. Get out from under there. Give 'em back, Martha screamed as she got down on her knees and peered under the floor of the building. Them's mine and Mary's. You give 'em back. No, go away, Laura yelled. Give 'em back right this minute, Martha yelled back at her. No, I ain't giving 'em back. Get out of here, Laura screamed. She kicked dirt and rocks toward Martha's face. Martha stood up. I'm going to kill that little snot-nose when I get my hands on her. Aw, come on, Martha. We ain't doing no good here, Mary said as she wiped sweat from her forehead. I'm going to tell Mommy, Martha said. She and Mary headed home. Read 'em, Laura, Emily begged. What do they say? One says it's to Mary Con, and the other one says it's to Martha Con. Open 'em, Emily urged. I'm trying, Laura responded. She clumsily attempted to open the flap on one of the envelopes she held in her hands. Here, hold this one, she said, handing Emily the other envelope. I can't take it. I got a booger, Emily said. Throw it down, Em. But it's Jack. Jack? You name your boogers, Emily? He's my friend, Laura. Take the letter in the other hand, then. But, Laura, I got Jill in that hand. Emily. Emily pulled her hands up close to her face. Bye, Jack. Bye, Jill, she whispered. She wiped her hands on her calico dress and took the envelope. What's that one say? She asked. It says, My dear sweet Martha. The girls giggled. My dear sweet Martha, Emily mocked, rolling her eyes. Then she clasped her hands together in delight. Go on. I love you with all my heart. Once again they broke into laughter. Look, Laura said, showing Emily the letters. Look at all these X's and O's on the bottom. What does that mean? Emily asked. It means hugs and kisses, Laura explained. That's a lot of hugs and kisses, Emily giggled. And look at this, Laura said. They put lipstick lips all over the letters. Their boyfriends wear lipstick, Laura? No, silly, Mary and Martha did it. They're in love. Who are they in love with? Emily asked, her eyes growing wider. Let's see. Martha's is from a Luther. Murray's is from a Jim. Luther and Jim. I don't know no Luther and Jim. Do you, Laura? I think it's boys they met at a funeral they went to with Daddy. I wish I could read, Emily whined. You'll learn to read when you go to school this year, Em. I want to know how now, Laura. Why? I read everything to you. But I want to know how to read myself, Emily protested, and I want to know how to write. I want to write down all the things I think about. Laura laughed. You'll be reading before you know it. Then you'll wish you couldn't, 'cause Miss Tackett will be giving you bunches of books to read. I'd never be sorry I learned to read, Laura. Emily frowned. But I don't want to go to school. Emily, you'll love school. I go and I like it. I don't want to go. I want to stay home forever. I just want to learn to read. You know your ABCs, don't you? Of course I do. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Emily sang. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Tell me what you think of my ABCs. No, that ain't right, Em. It's tell me what you think of me. I like it better my way. But it ain't right, Em. I don't care if it ain't right. Emily crawled out from under the floor. Laura followed her. Do you think Mary and Martha over their mad spell by now? Laura asked as she knocked dirt and gravels from her dress. I don't know, Emily responded. She pulled a cobweb from her dress and bent down to wipe it on the grass. It ain't been very long. Let's go play in the creek. The little girls ran across the dirt road and down the mossy bank to the small creek dotted with large, smooth stones and tiny minnows that darted here and there. The water's cold, Emily squealed as she stepped into the creek. Laura jumped in with both feet, splashing water all over Emily. You got me wet, Emily complained. That was the idea, Em. She splashed Emily again. Emily bent down and splashed water on Laura with her hands. Laura splashed her back. Soon both girls were soaking wet. They played in the water for a little while and then started home. Where's Mary and Martha's letters? Emily asked as they walked up the driveway toward their house. Laura's big blue eyes grew even bigger. I don't know. She stood still and turned to look around her as if she thought the letters would magically appear along the driveway. Emily stopped walking too and stared at Laura. What'd you do with them, Laura? Where'd you put them? I don't know, Em. We better go back and find them or they'll kill us for sure. The girls ran back and searched around the school building but could not find the letters. They followed their path back across the dirt road to the creek, searching along the mossy bank. Still no letters. They ain't here, Laura croaked. I lost them. Martha's going to kill me. She's going to wring my neck like I was a Sunday dinner chicken. Look over yonder, Emily squealed. Across the creek, washed up on the other bank, were two muddy envelopes. Laura waded across the creek and picked them up. Water dripped from them as she held them up for Emily to see. Emily shook her head. We're dead, she prophesied, dead as a doorknob. Laura waded back across the creek. She pulled one of the letters out of its envelope. Look, she said, the ink and lipstick are all faded together. You can't read a word. I couldn't read a word before, Emily said, shaking her head back and forth. Laura frowned. Come on, Em, let's go on home. Once again, the Soup Bean More. Thanks for watching. Bye.